Hello there, you're watching Nightline. I'm Anita Wu. The top stories. National debt lowered due to cost rationalisation of overpriced projects, says Finance Minister. And 20 people died in road accidents on the fourth day of Ops Lamat 15. Our headlining story: tight finances is forcing the federal government to use private initiatives to deliver projects to all states in Malaysia. Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad said due to financial constraints of the federal government caused by the previous Barisan Nasional administration, they do not have sufficient funds to undertake projects in various states.
It is slow not only in Sabah, it's also slow in the peninsula. The problem is we have a lot of obstacles due to the previous government. The most important thing is that we don't have the money. So we have to let the private sector do, but we must ensure that the private sector is genuine, not a front for somebody else.
On the delays of the Pan-Borneo Highway project, Tun Dr. Mahathir said that the Public Works Department, or PWD, has taken over from a private project manager, and it was up to PWD to deliver it now. However, he said it would be up to the federal PWD to decide whether to give the project to the Sabah PWD to handle. On a question on how Parti Pribumi Bersatu Malaysia is fitting into the Parti Warisan Sabah-led state government, Tun Dr. Mahathir said they were working closely, even though Warisan is not part of Pakatan Harapan. He also noted that Warisan played a major role in ensuring Pakatan's DAP, Vivian Wong, won in the Sandakan by-election with an 11,521 majority. Earlier, Tun Dr. Mahathir joined about 4,000 Sabahans at a breaking of fast event at the Kota Kinabalu City Mosque. The Prime Minister and his wife, Tun Dr. Siti Hasmah Muhammad Ali, arrived at the venue at about 6:20 p.m, accompanied by Sabah Chief Minister Datuk Sri Muhammad Shafi Abdal and his wife Datin Sri Suryani Shuib. Tun Dr. Mahathir was met on arrival by Deputy Chief Minister Datuk Jaujan Sambakong, as well as State Law and Native Affairs Minister Datuk Aidi Mokhtar. Also present at the event were Deputy Chief Ministers Datuk Christina Liu and Datuk Wilfred Medias Tangau, as well as Sabah Cabinet Ministers. After breaking fast, the Prime Minister, accompanied by other leaders and guests, proceeded to perform the Maghrib prayers before continuing with the feast. At the ceremony, Tun Dr. Mahathir also presented contributions to 20 recipients from the Asnaf or Zakat Beneficiaries Group. After the function, Tun Dr. Mahathir and his wife departed for Kuala Lumpur. The federal government's rationalisation of overpriced projects and private partnership payments, or PPP, has lowered the country's debt level to 75.4% as a ratio of the economy. While acknowledging an increase in direct government borrowings, Finance Minister Lim Guan Eng stressed that measures taken resulted in a 3.9 percentage point decline in the debt-to-GDP ratio in 2018. Lim, in a statement on Sunday, said the federal government's debt and liabilities would have risen higher were it not for various cost rationalisation efforts done by the present government on the ECRL, MRT2, LRT3 and other mega projects. The minister pointed out that renegotiations resulted in a 15 billion ringgit drop in the LRT3 cost, 8.8 billion ringgit for the MRT2 and 21.5 billion ringgit for the ECRL. The biggest contributor to the decline was a 6.8 percentage point reduction in PPP that brought these down to just 15% of the government's combined debt and liabilities. This drop was offset, however, by a 1.1 percentage point and 1.8 percentage point increase in direct government debt and guarantees, respectively. Lim added that Putrajaya will continue with efforts to reduce the government's total debt and liabilities and not just address direct debt alone. He said the government's newly established Debt Management Office is pressing on with its fiscal consolidation exercise to slow down the growth of direct government debt without affecting the economy's growth. This exercise, along with cleaner and good governance, will help reduce the overall debt and liabilities of the government further in 2019 and beyond. 20 people died in road accidents on the fourth day of Op Selamat 15, the highest number since the campaign began on Wednesday. However, Federal Police Traffic and Enforcement Investigation Department Director Dato' Azizman Alias said the total number of fatal accidents and fatalities had gone down compared with Op Selamat 13 conducted during the Raya period last year. Dato' Azizman in a statement said the current trend is better than Op Selamat 13. He said last year 70 fatal accidents were recorded with 73 fatalities, but this year, as of June 1st, the fourth day of Op Selamat 15, 63 fatal accidents were recorded with 69 people killed. He added that fatal accidents have declined by 10% and fatalities by 5.5%. Dato' Azizman, however, revealed that the total number of accidents had increased by about 10.5% from 6,343 cases to 7,012 cases of the same period. Selangor had recorded the largest number of cases at 2,154, followed by Johor 1,069, Kuala Lumpur 989, Pulau Pinang 616 and Perak 479. Police had so far issued 96,127 summonses nationwide in 1,238 operations for various offences. The police also recorded 158 break-ins as of June 1st, with 96 cases taking place in homes, 34 at shops, 19 at offices, 4 at factories, 2 at stores, and 1 each at a school, house of worship, and container. Meanwhile, the Malay Peninsula Malaysia Express Bus Entrepreneurs Association, or Pembawa, has ensured a safe and convenient balik kampung trip for its more than 1 million passengers. Its president said over 600 buses registered under the association are in tip-top condition and in compliance with regulations, as well as equipped with the Global Positioning System, or GPS.
Kita di sini hari adalah untuk melihat agar semua keadaan bas dalam keadaan baik dan selamat serta penumpang dapat pergi dan balik dengan selamatnya. Kita mempunyai 600 buah bas di bawah pembawa dan 18 syarikat.
Some 1 million people are expected to travel via buses registered with the association during the forthcoming festive season. Tajuddin said over 25,000 people use the bus services per day in Peninsular Malaysia. He also said bus drivers have been sternly reminded to observe the speed limit, failing which the passengers are advised to lodge a complaint. Malaysia Airlines Berhad MAB is reviewing whether to go ahead with an 11.52 billion ringgit order to buy 25 of Boeing's 737 MAX jets in the wake of 2 fatal crashes that led to the global grounding of the plane. According to a source familiar with the matter, though the state-run airline has not made any decision, it wants Boeing's reassurances about the plane's safety before proceeding further. The Malaysian carrier situation adds to the growing number of airlines wavering on Boeing's fastest-selling jet. Garuda Indonesia has said it no longer wants to buy the 737 MAX planes it ordered, while Lion Air is said to be seeking to drop its order. In 2016, MAB agreed to buy 25 737 MAX 8 jets from Boeing, with an option to double the order, which would bring the total value of the deal to 23.05 billion ringgit. None of the planes have been delivered yet. Boeing has begun mapping out steps to ease its 737 MAX back into commercial service once regulators lift the grounding, but there was no clear timeline on when that may happen. The International Air Transport Association, the biggest association of airlines, has forecasted it does not expect a decision for as long as 12 weeks. Minister in the Prime Minister's Department, Dato' Liew Riew Kiong, on Sunday explained that the delay in setting up a Royal Commission of Inquiry, or RCI, on the judiciary is due to a legal challenge to stop the move. He said the lawsuit was filed by former Sabah Chief Minister, Dato' Yong Teck Lee, as he questioned the constitutionality of the RCI. Dato' Liew explained that the lawsuit meant the government must allow the law to take its course before proceeding with the RCI. However, the minister assured the public that related investigations by the police and Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission, MACC, into the same matter will not be disrupted. It is understood that Dato' Yong filed his lawsuit in April to challenge the constitutionality of the proposed RCI on grounds that it would amount to executive interference in the affairs of the judiciary. Putrajaya had in February agreed to set up an RCI after Court of Appeal Judge Hamid Sultan Abu Bakar alleged widespread corruption and abuses in the judiciary. Datuk Sri Abdul Hadi Awang and Datuk Tuan Ibrahim Tuan Man will remain as past President and Deputy President, respectively. Past Secretary-General Datuk Taqiyuddin Hassan said this was after both positions went uncontested following the May 27th nomination deadline. However, he said several new faces are set to contest for the party's 3 Vice President posts, which will be officially announced soon. Datuk Taqiyuddin said over 1,000 representatives are expected to attend the 65th PAS Muktamar, scheduled to be held from June 21st to 23rd in Kuantan, Pahang. The annual convention will also see elections for posts at the central level to be held on June 21st. The iconic Kuala Terengganu-Kuala Nerus drawbridge in Terengganu officially opened to the members of the public on Sunday, attracting tourists and locals alike to witness the historic occasion. Thousands of vehicles crossed the iconic bridge, the first in Southeast Asia, as it began operations for a 15-day trial period in conjunction with Aidilfitri celebrations. Visitors had gathered in the surrounding area as early as 6 a.m. while waiting for the 638-metre bridge to open at 7 a.m. Numerous vehicles were seen parked at the entry points of both sides of the bridge, with some reportedly having spent the night in their cars for the occasion.
Lepas main support ni, kita main sini dalam pukul 10 suku gitu lah.
Sebab apa wari ni?
Kita nak ada pertama nak dua bridge ni.
Nak cerita sejarah.
Nak cerita sejarah.
Saya gembira teruja untuk dapat sekiranya kita boleh morning walk dekat atas jambatan kan, tapi nampak gayanya hari ni tak boleh berjalan atas jambatan. So kita tengok daripada jauh dan tengok macam mana ini sesuatu yang baru pada orang Terengganu. Kita harapkan ia menjadi daya tarikan lah kepada orang lokal dan juga pelancong asing.
State Secretary Dato' A. Rahman Yahya said only vehicles are allowed to cross the bridge during the trial period. The temporary opening of the bridge is part of the accreditation process, which assesses the overall road performance, including its coordination and signalling system.
Untuk maklumat semua, pengujian ini adalah untuk menentukan sama ada jambatan yang kita bina ini dapat menampung dan memerlukan tambah kebaikan kepada apa yang telah kita buat. Dan untuk maklumat semua, jambatan kita ni sebagaimana kita maklum satu ikon baru kepada pelancongan negeri Terengganu, di mana jambatan ini mempunyai basikula yang terpanjang di dunia dengan 76 meter.
The 248 million ringgit bridge, which has 2 16-storey towers, is the 4th bridge that connects Kuala Terengganu with Kuala Nerus. It is expected to cut travelling time between the city in the south and Sultan Mahmud Airport in Seberang Takir on a 4-lane coastal road at the North Bank by about 15 minutes.
Catch the auto segment every Friday on Nightline! Woo!
Still to come, 2 including Dato' charged with forgery. Do stay with us. Welcome back. Still with us on Nightline. In Johor, 2 individuals with a Dato' title and a lawyer were charged in a Johor Bahru Magistrates Court with 27 counts of document forgery-related offences. All 3 pleaded not guilty to the charges when the charge was read before Magistrate Rashida Bahrum on Sunday. The accused were Johor Police Volunteer Reserve PVR Commandant Datuk Lee Ban Heng, Chairman of a Chamber of Commerce Datuk Chong Chi Heng, and lawyer Danny Lu Keng Sun. Chong and Lee were accused of forging dozens of private caveat retraction documents on 27 lots of lands at Mukim Plentong 4 years ago, while Lu was accused of conspiring with them. Chong and Lee were accused of committing the offence under Section 468 of the Penal Code, while Lu under Section 109 of the same Act. Rashida set June 17th for the next mention of the case and document submission. Also in Johor, police detained 3 local men believed to be drug traffickers and seized drugs worth 3.2 million ringgit in 4 separate raids around the city 2 days ago. Johor Police Chief Datuk Muhammad Khalil Kadir Muhammad said the raids were the result of a collaboration between the Johor and Bukit Aman Narcotics Criminal Investigation Departments after detecting the gang's activities 5 months ago. He said the 3 men aged between 27 and 31 years, believed to be the masterminds, were arrested between 3 p.m. and 6 a.m. at 3 separate places, namely a house and steel warehouse at Taman Mount Austin, Kulai Toll Plaza, and a house in Taman Desa Tebrau. The raids conducted consecutively netted 119,400 Eramin 5 pills, 17,450 ecstasy pills, 8,414 grams of ecstasy powder, 220 grams of ketamine and 415 grams of liquid shabu. Apart from drugs, he said police also seized a Mercedes-Benz, a Toyota Vios, a chain, 2 rings, Rolex and Casio watches, and cash amounting to 2,350 ringgit. Datuk Muhammad Khalil said the drugs, which are believed to be for the international and local markets, were obtained from a northern state. He said so far police do not deny the possibility that Johor was being planned as a transit point for the drug syndicate.
Sekarang ni mereka syndicate ni dia sedang test ground. Jadi boleh tak Johor jadi transit. So untuk tahun ini kita dah hit 6 kali. I think it's a big blow to them also. Kita dah hit 6 kali. Ini adalah kejayaan yang ke-6. Kejayaan ke-6 bagi transaksi yang begininya besar.
According to him, 2 of the suspects were tested positive for drugs and all 3 have criminal records. The suspects have been remanded until June 7th to facilitate investigations under Section 39B of the Dangerous Drugs Act 1952. Also in Selangor, 14 motorcycles were seized in a special operation at the PJS2 Toll Plaza in Petaling Jaya involving motorcycles in conjunction with the Hari Raya Aidilfitri. The operation was conducted by the Selangor Road Transport Department, RTD, the police, the National Anti-Drugs Agency, AADK, and the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission, MACC. Selangor RTD Director Nazli Mat Taib said a total of 1,018 motorcycles were inspected in the operation. Of these, 14 motorcycles were seized as their road tax had expired over a year. The RTD also issued 348 summons, while 20 cases were submitted to the police for various offences. In Kedah, an unemployed man was charged at the Gurun Magistrates Court on Sunday with the murder of his 2-year-old stepson in Yan, Kedah last month. The accused, 28-year-old Sofiuddin Abu Bakar, nodded in understanding when the charge was read to him before Magistrate Nurul Rashidah Muhammad Akid. However, no plea was recorded. He was charged under Section 302 of the Penal Code, which carries a mandatory death penalty upon conviction. Meanwhile, at the same court, his wife, 23-year-old Nurul Natasha Roslan, who is the biological mother of the boy, was released on bail bond of 10,000 ringgit. The court set August 5th for remention. In Pahang, a 10-year-old boy could be blinded permanently following a firecracker mishap at Kampung Panji in Pekan, Pahang on Saturday. In the late evening incident, a firecracker exploded in the boy's face, crushing his right eye to bits with little or no hope of recovery. He was then rushed to the Pekan hospital before being referred to the Tengku Ampuan Afsan Hospital in Kuantan for medical treatment. A spokesman for the hospital said the boy was suffering serious injuries with fragments of metal tin found in his badly damaged right eye. Over in Selangor, a man died after the motorcycle he was riding in grazed with a car at kilometres 426.4 of the Plus Highway in Hulu Selangor on Sunday morning. According to Hulu Selangor Police Chief Superintendent Lim Bak Pai, in a statement, the victim, Ahmad Sulaiman Jamin, aged 20, was pronounced dead at the location. It is understood that the victim had fallen into the middle of the road after his motorcycle was believed to have grazed with a car before he was ran over by several vehicles which came from behind. The case is being investigated under the Road Transport Act 1987. We're taking a short break now. When we return, Huawei is not a military company. Welcome back. We move on to news on the foreign front. Huawei is not a military company. China's Defense Minister, General Wei Fenghe, stressed on Sunday that the company has no relation with the military, although its founder, Ren Zhengfei, used to serve in the army.
华为不是一个军方企业，你不要以为他这个人当过兵，那当过兵的人多了。 中国以前在当过兵的有几百万，他都是退役以后到地方从事职业，哪个国家都有。华为的老总当过兵不错，他没有跟军方进行合作，他是一个民用的企业。
General Wei said this while speaking at the Shangri-La Dialogue in Singapore. Previously, the US placed Huawei on an entity list on grounds of national security on May 16th, a move that curbs its access to US-made components it needs for its equipment. The Department of Commerce alleged that Huawei was engaged in activities that are contrary to US national security or foreign policy interest. The Trump administration later issued a 90-day reprieve on its ban on dealing with Huawei, saying breathing space was needed to allow for software updates and other contractual obligations. The US State Department has begun implementing its requirements that nearly all US visa applicants submit their social media usernames, previous email addresses and phone numbers as part of the application process. The new requirement, which could affect up to 15 million would-be travelers to the US, is part of a broad expansion of enhanced screening under the Trump administration. According to the State Department regulations, applicants will have to submit social media names and 5 years' worth of email addresses and phone numbers. The drop-down list covers a variety of platforms, which includes Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Weibo, Twitter, and even YouTube. It was also reported that applicants will have the option to declare that they do not use social media, while those that lie about their social media use may face serious immigration consequences. However, certain diplomatic and official visa applicants will be exempt from the stringent new measures. To come, Klopp wants to win more trophies with Liverpool. Stay tuned. We're back with sports news now. Football. Jurgen Klopp has vowed that winning the Champions League on Saturday night is only the start for Liverpool and that his young team is looking to win more trophies in the years to come. He said Liverpool has a wonderful age group of players and they'll look to provide a tougher challenge for league champions Manchester City next season.
This is only the start for this group, so it's still a wonderful age group. They all have the best times in their career still ahead of them, so that's big. For me, I'm really happy. I'm really happy. Now I have a lot of silver medals. Now I have a golden one, so that will be next to the silver medals in my house, and that's cool. But I'm also really happy for all other people.
Liverpool won a 6th European title in Madrid, beating Tottenham 2-0, and it was Klopp's first piece of silverware as manager on Merseyside. Liverpool went ahead with an early penalty from Mohamed Salah, while Divock Origi struck late in the game to seal the win. The Reds had won nothing at all since defeating Cardiff City on penalties in the League Cup final in 2012. To wrap up, Star Wars fans visit Disney's new Star Wars Galaxy's Edge theme park in California on Friday, where they saw sold-out tickets for the first 3 weeks in just less than 2 hours. Let's have a sneak peek into the theme park as we wrap up tonight's Nightline. With that, I'm Anita Vu. Thank you for watching, and for those fasting, selamat bersahur.